Yo, guys, it is me, the Dark, the Shadow, the Maverick, of the Dark Shadow Maverick Nation. Mm. Mm. You guys may or may not be wondering about the whole thing with the videos, like the ones I said I was going to do and the one I said I forgot. This I do indeed believe was the one I forgot. Though, unlike some of the other stuff, I have been building up to this, you know, for a long while. Like last night is whenever I originally tried to record this, but for some reason, I guess the microphone just likes to, just have its time of the month and, be bitchy about whether it wants to have me, have my voice be able to be heard. So yeah, I had to fix that. Mm. So basically, yeah, if you read this correctly, you read the title correctly. What if Lilo and Stitch were in Naruto? You guys are probably like, Dark Shadow Maverick, what drugs have you been doing? And I'm like, guys, I have not been doing any drugs. I just really love the movie Lilo and Stitch. It's like one of my favorite hand drawn Disney movies. My favorite is not this one, actually. My favorite is Hunchback of Notre Dame. And well, considering Pixar animated Disney movies, my favorite of those is Up. Disney Pixar's Up. However, this one is still pretty high up there in my regards for the, OG animated. I mean, it's really good. Oh, and another thing, I just want to get this straight out of the way for this what if. I'm only gonna go on the candidacy of the first movie, not the show, not any of the anything direct to DVD. I'm only gonna go from like the candidacy of the first movie, that like the original, the OG Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, this would be like right off the heel of that, like sometime later. So basically, certain things that I say won't seem as like stupid or redundant. So yeah, basically, the reason for that is well, there's actually I think several reasons, and one of those reasons being a certain experiment 954. Instead of experiment 626, it's experiment 954. And the reason why this is important to the story is because this is kind of how the characters from the Lilo and Stitch verse kind of are able to interact with the characters from the Naruto verse because of experiment 954. Because like one day basically experiment 954 and the I think I remember that they were called the Galactic Federation in the movie. Yeah, and basically in the custody of the Galactic Federation. Yeah. It's a lot more unhinged than Stitch was. Experiment 954 is like if Stitch was on crack. Yeah. It's like if Stitch was, it's like it's Stitch if like he decided to like have some sort of child with Joe Exotic, and the child was constantly doing crack cocaine. Yeah, basically the end result is what Experiment 954 is, basically. That's basically what you expect out of something, Experiment 954. And just for me saying that, you can probably kind of get the drift on, something good is not going to be happening. It's just all going to be bad. Because Experiment 954, goes AWOL and decides to break out of its containment. And literally, it's like insanely powerful and just insane in general. So it just like rips through all of like the containment shit like it's freaking paper. This shit is like a kid on Christmas or a freaking birthday. Just ripping through paper like nothing. And there's just pure red gleaming eyes of hatred for people that basically put Experiment 954 in the containment to even begin with. And basically, Experiment 954 decides basically to spread itself around the Galactic Federation, just go AWOL, just do whatever it wants. And basically, whenever the people finally are able to stop Experiment 954, that's actually a bad thing, because in order to stop it, they had to kill it. And apparently, Experiment 954's blood actually has a certain chemical reaction thing where it reacts to a certain, thing that, if close enough, can actually sort of mess shit up. And by shit, I mean literally, like, if they were to be like, their little HQ were to be close enough to the sun, or the material or liquid of substance of some sort would basically be able to chemical reaction with said sun and turn it into a red dwarf star. And I think you guys know what happened, the whole theory about the whole red dwarf star thing that's going to happen to our sun sometime in the future. And whenever that happens, it will eventually be, supernova. And basically that's what happens, because they really had to freaking, mow this guy down like freaking Rambo just to get him to stop. Experiment 954 had to be Ramboed into oblivion. But now the blood is everywhere, and it's like supercharged with like the blaster stuff they shot it with. And so now the nearest thing to them that resembles a sun or, a giant ass star to begin with is going into a red dwarf star state. And that just so happens to be, the Milky Way galaxy's sun. So yeah, the sun that, the characters from Lilo and Stitch would be seeing in the sky every, morning. Yeah, basically, all this shit that happened to try to get rid of Experiment 954 basically ended up in the, sun basically being turned into a red dwarf star before it was meant to. And basically, Hagoromo, him being the Rakuto Sen in the Sage of Six Paths, he would have sensed some trouble going on. And so basically, Indra and Ashro, like, they would have been basically sensing that, he was going to ask something of them. And so Indra would be like, not it. And Ashro would be like, not it. Wait, what? Shit. And basically Indra would be like, ha, in your face. And so, Asura, the body of the sage, his youngest son, Asura basically has to go down there and pull some Renegon shit with stop in time. Basically, you know, you know, uh, his father, the Rakuto Senin, basically giving him the means to do so that he can like freaking migrate these important people to this new prophecy that just seems to have come out of nowhere as of Experiment 954's death. There's this new prophecy. It's almost like the original one changed, and out of its changing became a new one. And, well, this basically ends up with Asura basically stopping time, except for, the people he's going to interact with. Basically, he sees Nani. She was, not getting the milk, she was getting the groceries. She ain't going to abandon her freaking younger sister. She was getting the groceries. So, yeah, basically, Asura would stop time, and he would basically just like, the sky is red because the sun just turned into a freaking red dwarf star. And if you want to ask anybody, ask Captain Gonto, that asshole, about what would happen, basically, if this actually made it your way. Because dude was the first to get fried once that whole shit happened. So yeah, I'm basically going to walk you through this. And, while you're doing your thing, getting the people. And so Nani, not wanting to leave her, little sister to die. And Lilo not wanting to leave Stitch to die. They go. But, Jumbo and Pleakley, they're pleasant in their own little weird little way. So they get to go too. And Bubbles, him being, doing his own thing, he'll get to go too. As Asura's explaining everything, Nani's explaining everything else, like everything Asura explained to them. And, it's kind of like this weird cosmic energy moment, like, whoa. It's like, damn. And when I forget the name of the boyfriend, and in my original recording, I don't think I included him. So, I'm going to include him now. Included. Though, I don't remember his name. Sorry, boyfriend. At least I think he was, like, the boyfriend type. I think he was, like, some sort of supporting role. So basically, once, all the Scotty beam me up shit had been done and over with, they would have made it to the Narutoverse, and after quite the journey, quite the warp, the light speed, Asura would be like, I can't help you with anything else. My chakra is like wearing thin as it is, so I gotta go. Here, you might know this place, or basically, I'm basically going to tell you what this place is. This is Konoha, and basically in the middle of this place called the Land of Fire. It's also known as the Hidden Leaf Village. You guys should be okay as long as you don't make a scene or whatever. So yeah, before all of my chakra is spent, I'm just going to go back and, hang with my bro and my dad. That. And so, like a freaking Jedi spirit, Asura, in like the form, he would just shoot back up before all of his chakra was spent. And so basically, yeah. Then all of a sudden, out of freaking nowhere, a bunch of Ambu that weren't exactly wearing the traditional Ambu masks, would try to freaking apprehend them. But the third Hokage would stop that in like a millisecond. He would just pop out of nowhere and be like, Danzo, get your ass out here. I know these aren't my Anbu. So yeah, get your ass out here and explain yourself. And basically, you know, Danzo would just be having this moment like he would be pissed because he almost had a victory there, some sort of W over Hiruzen, or at least I guess what he considers a W. And Hiruzen just had to stop it. But hey, Hiruzen's a good guy. The third Hokage's he's a pretty cool dude. And so yeah, basically he takes them all over to the Hokage mansion. He's like he tells the secretary, "Oh, don't worry, it's fine." And Nani would be like, "Okay, I get that we're new, but for some reason you just seem to have this look on your face like this has happened before." And the Hokage would be like, "Oh, how the hell do I explain this? Technically, it has happened before. But this person's name, you probably won't even think that's their actual name, but it is Dark." Yeah, he's not been around for long, but he's been around long enough to at least make some sort of impression on the majority of our lives. And boy, did he make an impression. But regardless of that, anything to do with that. And Dark Psycho ass. And, basically, they get all integrated into freaking Konoha. And, basically, it would be around the time, I really don't care about the canonicity issues if Lilo's age isn't actually this age. But, that's where I said that I don't care. Because this is my what if, damn it. And besides, she's a little kid, so, besides, she acts like what a normal kid would act. So why should it matter all that much? And when I say this, is because time skip to around a time where she's like 7 going on 8 around this time. This is around the time of her actual 8th birthday. And she actually realizes, it's been a little bit while after, she's turned 8 that she actually realizes someone else seems to have, also have a birthday around her time. However, they don't seem to be going outside to celebrate or even celebrating inside, But there's this whole festival, like this thing called the Kyubi Festival. And, well, basically, Lilo, being the curious little girl that she is, and they're still trying to find, a permanent living space within the village, she would go up to the third Hokage after having an incident where she ran into said person, being a blonde-haired boy with blue eyes and whiskers, 3 for each side of his face, and actually realizing that the people of the village seem to just be glaring like death stares, but not at her, but at this boy. And, basically, from what she was able to do, like, sneaking, doing her little sneaky sneak, from what she was able to gather, this person does not live a pleasant life at all. And so basically she eventually just decides that she, it's kind of like something that she should do, like any good person would do. So, she's not a bad person, so off to do what any good person would do. Go to the Hokage and try to figure out this shit. And so basically, she would go, into the Hokage Tower, and she would, look at the receptionist, the receptionist would look at her back and, just give her that glare, like, basically says, I don't care, but, really, should you care? And that's whenever Lilo would just blow a raspberry at the secretary and just run straight for the area. Because from what she can tell, this is usually the direction people go whenever they want to see the Hokage. They usually follow a certain direction. And, she's patient enough to let the meeting that's currently going on, pass, time pass. But she has this, like, pre-ninja stealth so that no one really notices that she was ever there. Except for the secretary, but, she ain't gonna do anything about it. These are the new people. She ain't sure about them. So, yeah, basically, Lilo waits for everything to go by. And then she just, goes towards the doors and it's just like, knock, knock, knock. And, she would just hear a voice coming and, like, sounding like the, Hokage, and be like, come in. Lilo. And it's like, he would have known who was behind those doors. Yeah, because you don't need to be a chakra sensing type to know who's behind those damn doors. Because, Lilo is Lilo and all that shit. And so basically, yeah, Lilo will basically just have this discussion with the Hokage about, things and shit. And basically, Nani would eventually, intervene, like, being like, Lilo, where the hell have you been? And Lilo was like, oh, I'm just talking to the Hokage about, how, she'd basically explain everything to Nani. And Nani would be like, what? And the thing is, you don't think Lilo was going to listen. No, she listened to everything that the Hokage had said up until that point. Basically about the fact that Naruto actually is part of actually two clans, not just one, but two. The Namikaze and the Uzumaki. And that's basically whenever Nani would be like, wait, don't the Namikaze and the Uzumaki have a combined clan compound in the village somewhere? Somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, yeah. So up high. I mean, come on, you got the opium thing in there, and, Scarecrow with a gun. Like, what do you think he's packing in there? Definitely not actual bullets. He's probably packing in the weed. The ganja, the marriage image, the Mary Jane. Or as I like to say, the marriage image. Or as like, I believe it was Reagan. He liked to say, the grass. Oh my god, people, watch out for the evils of grass. If I want to be talked to about like the evils of grass, I'll watch the Blair Witch Project. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Reagan. Or it was either the Reagan administration or the Bush administration when we were like freaking out about freaking weed. Also called pot, but that wasn't really the thing. Like, if I want to be talked to about the dangers of grass, I will watch the Blair Witch Project. Not this freaking thing called Reefer Madness. This movie called Reefer Madness. Where I'm pretty sure the majority of these people that were making this movie were probably high off their ass. Like, to at least have to go through this guy's lectures. This dude who's like the main character of the film, which, if your main character is this damn annoying, You have problems, movie. You have problems. And no, I'm not talking about Lilo and Stitch. I'm talking about the movie Reefer Madness. Because I actually like Lilo and Stitch. Reefer Madness is only fun if you wanna go with the jokes that have been already made, and make your own ones on the way. You know, it's kind of like a ride on the Magic School Bus if the Magic School Bus was like some sort of shady occult project. So basically, anyways, after all of that, and be basically telling them everything, and well, basically, seeing as Naruto kind of sees him as sort of like a surrogate grandfather figure, and he sees Naruto as sort of like a surrogate grandson figure, even though he already has a grandson, kind of Maru. But I digress. So basically, I was like, well, okay, fine, actually. You know, you are working on a job thing, right? And Nani's like, yeah, I just found a job today. What does that have to do with anything? At the friggin' Ichiraku. Like, she just now got hired, but it was at the Ichiraku Ramen. Wearing a shirt of it. Can you see all that? I had to lift it up over my face. I at least hope you saw all of that. Yeah, Ichiraku Ramen Shop. So yeah, basically, she got employed as extra help, so she's getting money, but not too much money, but, she's still getting money from, being the extra help. Tayuchi and Ayame and now her, she's extra help. Nani is. I mean, it was one of the only jobs that she actually, could get for herself. Because for some reason, people just think, for some reason, I don't, Nani doesn't know how, but for some reason, she guesses they might have made a bad first impression. And, first impressions are everything. So, yeah. And on the topic of first impressions, basically to explain away Stitch's weirdness, they just, give the excuse that he is a super advanced type of ninken. Ninja dog. Because, in the movie, the excuse for, how they got him was he was a dog. So, why not have him be a super advanced type of ninken? Ninja dog. I mean, that connects the two series, basically. So, yeah. And whenever you can take in consideration the fact that Stitch can grow multiple limbs and can speak and can even pull the shit off with the record with the Elvis. It was a did and like the music playing every time he opened his mouth. That shit is insane. And so yeah, basically registered all that in, and basically they decide to register themselves in as sort of a thing, register completely in as part of said thing, basically, yeah, their thing. And so basically, the Hokage basically decides to get his Anbu to get Naruto. And Naruto's like, oh, what is it, Gigi? And basically, it's the only people in there, the Anbu and, Hokage and Naruto. Well, at least from what Naruto can see. And then all of a sudden, like, the Hokage would be like, Naruto, what if I were to tell you that I have something for you that you've been craving for a long time? And Naruto would be like, what do you mean? And basically, like, Naruto, don't try and fool me, because you know as damn well you can't. You long for a family. You long for the love of someone you can call your family. And basically, seeing as I'm pretty sure I completely forgot the boyfriend. Even though I don't know his name, I'll try to like make an effort to know his name for like, future parts. At least I hope I can remember that I said this. Basically, the boyfriend gets included too. And this, it's basically like, I know you want the love of a mother and a father, and that you haven't been able to get that. And then he actually gets into the fact that Naruto actually did have, two clans, actually. And, the whole thing about why he was never told, and what exactly he is. The Kyuubi container. Not the Kyuubi, but the Kyuubi container. There's a difference. And here's to make sure that Naruto knows that before anything else, that there is indeed a difference. And he even gives like the demonstration of like the kunai and the sealing scroll, and the kunai in the inside of the sealing scroll. And like basically, like there's a difference. One of them has a kunai in it, and the other one basically it's just the kunai without the sealing scroll. The kunai is the Nine Tails, and Naruto is the sealing scroll. So yeah, there is a difference. Is basically what Hiruzen is trying to tell Naruto. And, Naruto's like, well, yeah, but what about this whole thing you've been talking about, like, family? Like, I don't really see anyone. And, Hiruzen just gives off, like, a signal. And it's just like, all of a sudden it's like, surprise! And Naruto would be like, holy shit! And it's like, he would start throwing some makeshift wooden kunai and shuriken, like, off of reflex, like, because of how he gets treated, especially on his birthdays. Yeah, basically, this would have been like a birthday gift, so Naruto would have been really freaking freaked out. So, yeah. But Hiruzen would make sure that none of them actually hit anybody. And, basically give them back to Naruto as long as he promises not to do that again. But basically saying that, these two are like, they're kind of like that, but they're kind of also not like that because they're more like sister brother, like older sister, older brother type. But in a way, they're also kind of like parents in a way because of the fact that they literally, Nani literally had to like parent her little sister. So in a way, they're also kind of like parents, but not really. They're more or less like older brother, older sister. But in a world where Naruto's like situation is the way it is, or at least for now, he'll take anything that he can get. And he even realizes like the little girl that he bumped into earlier, and he wanted to apologize. And he sees this frickin' Ninken thing, and basically Lilo was like, "Oh, it's okay, it's fine. Oh, and by the way, this thing here, he has a name. His name is Stitch." And Naruto was just like, basically, Naruto basically gets told everything. Nothing left out, because the Hokage is basically like, sorry about this, Minato, but I don't think your promise, left anything into the imagination of, like, interdimensional what the effery. So, yeah, I don't think your promise included this. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut those ties loose. So yeah, basically Naruto does get a family. And they even get the permission to enter the Uzumaki Namikaze compound. Or Namikaze Uzumaki, whichever one is first. But, it needs like an Uzumaki or Namikaze blood seal thing to open the gate. And seeing as like he's the only like blood related of either of those, he kind of has to put his own blood over the seal in order to let them in. But okay, he's like, as soon as I get you guys all registered in as the family, I believe like I can make it to where the seal will recognize you guys as his family, so that you'll be able to go in without necessarily having to have Naruto, risk blood for you. And so yeah, basically, this like time skip to basically whenever they're all having dinner. And, Naruto is just like beaming like brightness, like joy and happiness. And he's like, it's like he doesn't really understand these emotions. Because, even though there are some people who do indeed care about him, it's like, it's a very few and far between. So, yeah, few and far in between. So, yeah. Nani decides to come up with something that, from their like old world where they used to live, a little saying, that has kind of been in between her and Lilo, and it's kind of been just this one thing I just, even Stitch knows about it, and I'm pretty sure even the boyfriend would know about it by now. It's basically, the boyfriend being like, okay, I'm gonna try to do something. Basically, Nani would be like, what it would be nice for you to try to do is to keep Naruto here because we need to speak to him about something. Yeah, and so basically the boyfriend would tell Naruto that, not to leave yet for his room. And before anybody says anything, Naruto would have gotten anything that actually he felt sentimental value towards from his like original apartment, and brought it over here that he could, basically, you know, Nani's like, Naruto. And Naruto's like, huh? And basically, she would start out with Naruto. And basically, look towards the boyfriend, and the boyfriend would be like, you are our ohana. And then Nani would then say, and ohana means family. And then just point over to Lilo, and Lilo would be like, and family means, and then Lilo would point over Stitch, and Stitch would say, nobody gets left behind. And basically those words would resonate so well with Naruto, because he's like, he's not gonna get left behind. He's not gonna be hurt. He's not gonna be treated like how he was at the orphanage. He's going to finally have a happy life. And even if he's not blood related, like directly blood related to these people, it doesn't matter, because they're more of a family to him than majority of the people in this village. So he'll take what he can get. So, yeah. Basically, as Naruto goes to bed, he basically would be reciting to himself in his sleep, as not tears of sadness, but tears of happiness would be going down his cheeks. He would basically be reciting what he was told, that ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. It would just be something that Naruto would be overjoyed about. And however, someone had actually been, hopping throughout, the village, as Naruto would have been reciting this basically over and over in his sleep. And, whenever they heard this, they'd be like, Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. Interesting. Oh, wait, yeah, that's right. Gotta talk to the old man about. Damn it. Why do I have to go ahead and pull that shit off? Now that I'm a Jonin sensei and there's only one other possible team left, that is, if they actually do graduate. Oh my god. It's either the crazy kid underneath Donzo's control or these weirdos. Oh my god. And freaking, God forbid, I get Chiha and freaking fangirl with hair that so obvious stands out. It's like pathetic. At least this Nani person managed to get this kid clothes that would not make him look like such an obvious, kill me orange, like friggin' Target clothes. And so basically, yeah, that's basically what would have been said. Like basically, like something like, yeah. So basically, something like, basically saying like, Nani actually thought about it and be like, yeah, this stuff does exactly, seem like a lot like something Kill Me Orange. So she would have gotten Naruto some new drip. And basically, what Naruto would be sporting would be something similar to what Lilo would have been sporting in the first movie. But instead of red, it's blue. A pattern of blue instead of a pattern of reds. Like, go with the whites of the design. Or at least that's what would have been considered, but then again, she remembers Stitch's blue, so that would kind of be awkward. But then it's like, what if she switched it around? What if the majority of the design was actually a different color? But it's like, that would be kind of, hard to find. And Lilo would just be like, Mom, it's okay. Stitch thinks it's okay. I think it's okay. So she would have just gone with the original plan, to just get Naruto something blue with, like, the white designs, as to where Lilo has something, like, red with the white designs. At least that's what I remember from Lilo's character design. And so that's basically what Naruto's ninja wear would be. He would have his, things where he would have all of his stuff. And, even, because of all of this, because he would finally have a family, Naruto wouldn't necessarily have, find any need in, pulling pranks. So, yeah, that would make things a lot easier for Aruka. You know, so, you know, basically, though Naruto would still have the shitty chakra control, regardless of however, like, freaking Lilo decided to try and help. And even if Nani, and even to some extent Stitch, and the boyfriend tried to help with his shitty chakra control, they barely know anything about chakra control as it is, so Naruto wouldn't exactly be doing any better. Like, the only thing I could really say is that he could perform two clones, but they would still both look abysmal. So he would still fail for the third time. And so Mizuki would spin his whole yarn, and Naruto would then basically, he would go to do the same thing he did in canon, but the difference here is he would be conflicted the entire way through. Because, he has his family, he has everything that, he's ever wanted, pretty much. Close to pretty much everything he's ever wanted. And, he's just going to throw this all away just because he had a chance to become a ninja. So this entire way through, Naruto is feeling conflicted. So whenever it comes to the chance of actually opening a scroll and learning a jutsu, Naruto feels that, if he's going to be thinking about this whole entire thing on the entire way, he should at least find a way to, resolve himself if worse comes to worse. And he would indeed do that basically by, not just taking this as like a fun little joke. He would actually, go at this with the full intent of like not just learning one jutsu, but every jutsu he can in that scroll. The scroll of sealing. And so basically by the time that Iruka had found Naruto, basically Naruto would have basically been like, he wouldn't really want to lie to Iruka and say that he only learned one jutsu, because that was wrong. He actually learned all of the jutsu. So he would just, kind of like shake it all off, no skin on his nose. And it does indeed seem to be somewhat of a farce or some sort of like shady shit. Because Mizuki just comes out of freaking nowhere. And, he starts spinning the yarn about Naruto being the intelligent Cherokee. But the thing you think about this is, Mizuki would think that he made Naruto cry. But then it would just turn into like, you don't think I already know? And Mizuki would be like, what? How? And Naruto would be like, oh, that's my thing to know and for you to never figure out. And Iruka would be like, wait, what in the world happened? Like, Naruto just did a 180 in his personality. And Naruto would just like get this like ascension mode where he would like go 180 with his personality. And with that comes his mastery of the jutsus he was able to get in the scroll, which is all of them. And basically, he wouldn't just pull off the shadow clone jutsu where like 100 clones. He would do 300 clones with like 200, but in the back there would be like an extra 100. And he would also pull off the, I know it isn't false darkness because that's a lightning style jutsu, but it would be like the D.S.M jutsu, like the darkness jutsu, like the whole barrier of darkness thing where you can't even see jack shit. Kind of like Tozen's Bankai from Bleach. It would have just screwed Mizuki over because now not only is he like trapped in complete and total darkness, but he's getting his ass kicked in complete and total darkness. And basically, whenever the whole dark thing like goes down, like the clones are gone, and Mizuki is now like a bloody freaking pulp. So really, there would be no point in Ibiki and Anko like interrogating the shit out of him, because he probably wouldn't even be able to answer them anytime soon. And what basically Naruto would tell Iruka is basically, from what he could tell from his chakra, it definitely seems like something vile. Like, his chakra seems like something of snakes. And basically that would tell Iruka all he needed to know. They wouldn't even had to interrogate him. Naruto, just from his saying that his chakra seemed like something that of snakes, would basically tell Iruka what exactly was going on the entire time. That this dude was actually secretly working for the trader of the Hidden Leaf. Orochimaru of the Three Sannin. And so, Naruto actually is given a lot of praise by Hiruzen and Iruka for basically getting rid of a traitor. And he's even, the scene where, Iruka's like, Naruto, close your eyes. And basically, Naruto realizes he gave him his headband. Well, that scene would actually be kind of altered. He would still stay, close your eyes. But he wouldn't have given him his headband. He would actually have given him a headband that was left over for if he did graduate. Just in case somehow. Some way. Hiruzen would have been like, just in case, because I have an idea on something might be going on, but I'm not 100% completely sure. we're probably gonna need this to figure out. It was just a feeling that Hiruzen had. And because of that feeling, Naruto is now a full-fledged, full-blooded ninja of the Hidden Leaf, Konohagakure no Sato. And, well, basically, another time skip, basically, to Naruto actually feeling what it feels like to, have people congratulate you and shit. Like, not just Iruka, but also Hiruzen, and even his new family. They, they're like, that was dangerous, but still, thank you, Naruto. Like, we are so happy for you. Not only are you a ninja, but you helped get rid of a traitor. Especially a traitor working for some, shady shit person like Orochimaru. Because, don't act like, Lilo, Stitch, Nani, and the boyfriend were uninformed of the dangers of Orochimaru. Because that guy is freaking, he was one of the freaking legendary Sannin. So, yeah, of course, he would probably be, it would probably be pretty an assholery thing to do for Hiruzen to just not inform them about all this whole dealio thing. And so Naruto just feeling like this, happiness of being, encouraged and being basically good and all, but Naruto would then be like, "Wait, Lilo, did you pass? Because I wasn't really told that if you passed or not." And for that, also Stitch, did you? Because I wasn't really told about that either. I think that's around the time that Mizuki got me, actually. I wasn't able to see if you two had passed. And basically, Lilo and Stitch would have told Naruto that they did pass, and they're sorry they couldn't do anything really to help him with the whole Mizuki problem. And Naruto's like, no need to be sorry. I mean, besides, if you guys had, then, none of this would have happened. Naruto's basically like, I was able to do something good, and, if you guys had been there, who knows that, I might not have been able to do something good. I might not have been able to, the village and all. So, yeah. Basically, now an actual, time skip. So, basically, we get to the day whenever, everyone's getting selected for those teams. And basically, we get to that certain, room where all the Jonin are in. And they're, the selected teams. And now it finally gets down to, Kakashi and Dark. And whenever, Dark hears Kakashi's team getting, basically told that Kakashi, he's like, oh, thank God, finally, damn it. Damn it, thank God. No, fangirl, no, stuck-up Uchiha. And no shit fit frickin' Donzo puppet. Thank the Lord. Thank you, Third Hokage. Or should I say, Hiruzen Senpai. He would basically have done that just to kind of still continue to joke around with Hiruzen. And it's and this is why I didn't give you that team. And it's and it's a wonder why they think I actually would ever give you that team. And Dark is what are you talking about, Hiruzen Senpai? And he just be he wouldn't actually get a tick mark because, that would imply that he was, actually throwing some killing intent at him. Basically, basically, it's Hiruzen is he doesn't actually know why I did not throw any killing intent. And then Hiruzen just, flashback no jutsu, and it's that one time he actually did throw killing intent at him, and it's all of a sudden it's Dark will be Harrison Senpai, did you just frickin' throw like freaking killing intent at me? Because that better not have been the case. Because if it was the case, oh, if it was the damn case, and like everyone in the freaking room would just be like passed out and slowly dying, and Hiruzen would be like choking on all of the true killing intent of Dark. Like, I don't care if this man survived however many wars, Dark would have been nettled beyond belief that anyone decided to throw weak ass killing intent at his person. And so yeah, Hiruzen's just like, and he wonders why I don't do that anymore. And basically, you know, and the whole thing. Basically, Hiruzen being like, that's kind of the reason why. But, because of the fact that Kakashi got that team, that means you have... And Darker's like, oh, that team, those, people. What was that team again? And Hiruzen's like, damn it, Dark. Who were the last 3 people on the freaking, message thing? And Darker's like, Naruto Uzumaki, Lilo Uzumaki. Anyway, he's like, it would be like Namikaze Naruto Uzumaki, Namikaze Lilo Uzumaki, and Namikaze Stitch Uzumaki. Wait, I got an entire family rolled on this? Man, they're not half bad. The exact people I want on my team, actually. To see if they were any good. And like, Hiruzen would be like, oh, is that some sort of weird way of thanking me? Still? And Darker's like, bitch, I don't freaking know. I'm about to freaking, blitz it, if mind you. It was like, just boom, out of there. But in basically the same amount of time that it would took for him to get out of there, he would have thrown a bomb of some sort, and basically the Hokage would be like, what the hell is it this time? And the secretary would have been just like, I think this is uranium number 5, hot mustard, soy sauce, Tabasco sauce, I think the majority of the sweat glands of all the villagers in Konoha. And, oh god, what the hell? And Hiruzen would be like, what is it? What the hell did you say about uranium? And basically the secretary would be like, I never thought you would go this far, but then again, it's Dark we're talking about here. This is Dark we're talking about here. Oh my god. This shit is just... wow. Then again, like I said, this is Dark we're talking about here. Oh my god. I don't even understand how the hell he would, manage to get in there to steal that. But then again, that would be, describing why they were so freaking angry. The Hyugas and the Uchihas. Well, any of the Uchihas you could consider left. Well, since Sasuke. Really, I don't really give a shit about his opinion. I don't think you do either. But for the Hyugas, like, damn, this is some ballsy move here. I mean, this is sort of like preserved Byakugan juice. And how do you even know that would mix that way with all the other stuff? Like, was he like a chemist or something? And then Hiruzen would just give the secretary a look like, really? Because of how many times he's done this, do you really doubt that he could be a chemist? And then the secretary would just give him a look like, well, I never really completely doubted it. I was like, it would just be this, like unspoken agreement in between those two that Dark whenever he's not actually being an helpful asset to Konoha, is a complete menace to Konoha. Because, every time he likes to make those hasty retreats, he always leaves something deadly behind. Or some things deadly. Like that one time with the razor blades, the snakes, the spiders. God knows what else that happened, whatever the hell that was. And, the secretary's like, oh, please don't remind me. And Kage would be like, you're telling me, and Jesus. Wait, I actually think I have it down from my notes. Holy shit. We could have died. Like, I think Dark is actually very aware that we could have died. If that thing had actually been set loose. I don't know how he was able to, and I don't want to know how he was able to, but somehow he managed to resurrect a freaking pterodon from, like, prehistoric fossil. Yeah, we literally could have died. And it's like he doesn't even give a shit. But, whenever he's useful for Konoha, he is indeed useful. Kind of like the whole deal with Danzo. Only the difference between Dark and Danzo is, Dark doesn't want to make me freaking jump out of the damn window and see if it will actually take me to the pearly gates. Dark just makes me question my sanity. And the secretary's like, and you're like saying that's any better? And Harrison's like, and you're saying it's not any better? And the secretary would be like, well played, sir, well played. And Harrison's like, you better know it's damn well played. So basically, and time skip to basically the day of whenever, they're all supposed to freaking meet, the teams. Basically, they get called off one by one. And then there's this just, Iruka just looks at the message right at the end of it, and is like, oh god, no. He's going to kill Naruto. And that Lilo girl, and that, Nenken thing, Stitch. A good freaking lord, he is going to murder them. Yeah, basically, Team Dark, you, Naruto, and your sister, and your Nenken brother thing. And Lilo was like, Stitch is not a thing, his name is Stitch. And basically, Naruto would be like, and yeah, and Stitch is a part of our ohana. And ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind. And, Iruka would be like, oh, yeah, that. It was like, shit. Dark is gonna freaking destroy them. But, you would actually know what he meant beside frickin', he would actually have meant the other word. And then, the later day after that, after the teams were pronounced, basically the next day, whenever they were, going. Well, actually, let's do the introductions. Like, basically, Naruto's introduction would be majorly the same, except for some slight alterations because, he has a family. And, well, Lilo would kind of just be probably what your normal kid would say to an adult. And Stitch would more or less be rather confused on the whole entire idea of introductions. Yeah, slightly kind of getting a hang of it, but, slightly as in, not really. But, he would still be trying. It's the trying that counts. It's the thought that counts. And so basically, the day after that, where basically Dark would be told about, like, how it's traditional, like the bell test. And yeah, Dark would have basically been like, yeah, traditional for you and your sensei, and I guess his sensei. But, like, traditional for me, I think not. But still, just because you mentioned it, just because I want to rub it in your face whenever my team's, better than yours in the tuning exams, that is, if they actually make it to the tuning exams, and you are close to that, I just want to rub it in your face, Trish Stratus, what you say, oh, it's time to rock and roll. This time I'm in control. And now I am on the streets of Kona. And this time I am down. Oh, it's time to rock and roll. This time I'm in control. Now I am on the streets, keys to the city. That's because I am down. And sometimes I wonder how I got this far. With all these people hating on me. You all know who you are. It's my time to burn. And I'm gonna rub it in your face. When will you learn? I'm the queen and I'll put you in your place. And God, he's like, oh my God, is he literally gonna sing the entire thing? And Dark is like, really, do you expect anything less or more from me at this point, Kakashi? And Kakashi would just be like, did you literally add an extra cock at the beginning of my name just to spite me? Because if you did, it's hella working right now. Because, dude, you are literally, shouldn't you be meeting with your team? And Dark is actually like, Kakashi, there's a difference between you and me. You're, several hours late to your actual meetings and the time you actually set for them. And me, my whole thing is, I actually think they should be early themselves, it's nice to be on time and all, but I think they should actually be early just to show, if they actually deserve the title of Shinobi. And Kakashi's like, and what about you? And Dark would just be like, oh yeah, well, I would just be doing my thing. And Kakashi's like, I'm afraid to ask what his thing is. After everything that he's basically put the Hokage and the secretary through. Hokage's secretary. So yeah, I'm kind of afraid to ask what his thing is. And, Dark is like, and you're probably wondering what my thing is. And Kakashi's like, shit, he's gotta tell me anyways. And Dark is like, well, it's none of your damn business, copycat ninja mofo. And Dark is like, poof. And Kakashi was like, ah, damn it, my one good eye. Freaking sulfur. What the shit is this? It's freaking liquid nitrogen. And is this dog piss? And cat shit? And what the frick? Uranium number 5. Why is there always uranium number 5? How the frick did he get powdered sugar? And you would just hear the sound of the freaking head of the civilian council on the side of the Haruno. Basically, that person would be like, who stole my damn sugar? And Kakashi would be like, shit, that's why he left. Yeah, he basically would have stole sugar from the freaking Haruno clan. Just to help finish that one off. And Kakashi's like, wait, is there salt and pepper here? And then all of a sudden he would just see, looking from above, and then a bunch of spiders would just drop. Damn it, a multi-layered trap, what the hell, man? And then he would just feel what's this sticky shit? And there would just be a sound bzzz. Aw, son of a... Oh, no. And bzz, 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 bzz. And son of a... Dark, I'm gonna kill you. And then you just hear off of the back, it's nor you can die trying, asshole. Oh my God, I'm gonna love this. Something tells me I'm gonna love being a teacher. And Kakashi basically seeing all this through his... not Kakashi. Harrison basically seeing all this through his crystal ball. He basically yeah, I better get to Nani to tell her about, Dark's little quips before, she gets enraged at me, possibility of any lives being lost. Because that's just the kind of person Dark is. And she'll probably talk to the boyfriend too, but I'll leave that to the secretary. And the secretary would just be like, just like a few seconds away from giving Okage a Stone Cold Steve Austin style double middle finger. Just for that. And Okage would be like, Jesus, I said I was going to talk to Nani about Dark. Why can't you talk to the boyfriend about Dark? I mean, I'm not going to talk to them both about Dark. Like, what do you think I am? Wanting to kill myself? That's like a suicide mission. So, yeah. Basically time skip, and basically everyone's at the training ground. This training ground being basically like half of 44, because training ground 44 to the Forest of Death. That's how serious I am about this. So it's training ground 22. So basically they're all at training ground 22. The official new training ground for that of Team Dark. And so, yeah, basically Dark is just like upside down a tree, and he's just like, hanging from there, and he's eating a freaking coconut. He's like, oh man, these things are become really rare. It's a good thing I got this imported from the land of lightning. Though very seedy, shady merchants that I had to kill. And I explained to the Raikage why I had to kill them. So yeah, basically he would have found those coconuts within the land of lightning. And then he was basically be like, and then I had to go over this shit with the freaking lightning daimyo. That asshole. Well, there goes that part of my weekend. It looks like they actually did make it here on time. And basically, Lilo and Stitch would be like, where is he? Where's our sensei? And Naruto would be like, guys, up there. Wait, why the hell is he swinging from the tree upside down? And what the hell is he eating? And Lilo's like, Naruto, I think that's a coconut. And Lilo's like, coconut. Like, no, Stitch is like, coconut. And then Dark would just be like, oh yeah, coconut. And you know what they say about coconuts? He just drops and just ultimate Batman pose, like Batman in the Dark Knight, just like lands on the car. And he would just land in that pose and then just like start walking around and be like, you put the lime in the coconut and drink them both up. You put the lime in the coconut and drink them both up. And then he would just start, low rider. It's like freaking Lilo was just like left speechless. And then it's just like, yeah, it's like the do 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 do. And then Dark would just finally be like, yo, what up? I appreciate you guys showing up on time, but really, if you really want to prove to me that you are worth your medal of whatever you say your mouth is, or whatever the saying is, you probably should have arrived ahead of time. Because if I ever end up becoming anything like that guy, Kakashi Hatake, then, that would, basically be the end of me, and probably the end of all of you. So, please try to, arrive ahead of time. Please, trust me, I'll know. And basically, whenever he says, please trust me, I'll know, it's like, that one sign to all three of them, even Stitch, it's like, this guy is built different. And so, yeah, basically, they're like, see these, like, shit, whatever the hell these things are, But yeah, bells. See the bells, two of them. Yeah, you guys don't get one. You can go without lunch. I didn't do the whole like not eating breakfast thing like Akashi because I'm not a douche. So yeah, the thing about whatever you want to think about with that, but here's another thing: time constraint. Noon. If you haven't gotten one by noon, you're all going hungry. Oh, and also, don't think I'm gonna give you a little hand me down like freaking favors. I'm not like that. You guys, if you guys are gonna survive in a ninja environment, I can't do that. I'll be helpful whenever I can once we actually have certified ourselves as a team. If you can actually pull yourselves together long enough for that to happen. But until then, I'm not helping you guys work their shit. That is, unless you can find the underlying messages in some of my words. You know? Basically, Naruto's like, wait a second. Underlining messages in his words? And Lilo's like, wait, so he's been dropping hints while he's been talking? And Stitch is actually, it's almost like he's still trying to pull his hair out, but he's grabbing his ears instead. And it's like his antennae. It's like even Stitch finds this guy hard to understand. So basically, just Dark making this like mental note to himself, kind of like full Shatner mode. It's like, it doesn't seem like they halfway got it. I don't exactly know how that's going to affect any teamwork that we might ever possibly get. Should these, little problem children actually get what I'm trying to do here. Oh, the whole ohana thing that I had to listen to. Yeah. Something about that tells me that regardless if I like it or not, they are going to pass. Like, I really can't see how or why, but something just tells me that regardless of whether I want them to or not, like, if I was that way or not, they are still going to pass. I don't know what is. I don't know what it is, but just something tells me it's going to happen. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go easy. Actually, far from it. Now that I got that hint, I got that in my brain, I'm going to go extra hard on these mofos. Before there wasn't really all that much of a time constraint, just as long as the sun was up. Now, there is a time constraint. Oh, I'm evil and I liked it. And I still like it. Like a bouse. And so yeah, basically, you guys are probably going to hate me about this because cliffhanger with the bell test. Dark style.